a person abducted by fairy is not necessarily lost forever. There are good reasons why families should never give up hope at the disappearance of a loved one. Many are the tales of people emerging exactly 1 year and 1 day from the day they disappeared. But in some cases, families have had to wait much longer. There was a boy in this district named John who was once taken by the fairies. He came from a large and decent farming family. One day, 4 years after his disappearance, 2 of his brothers were passing by a thorn bush not far from their house when they heard a sudden and strange crack that startled them. They took to their heels immediately and ran straight home. That same day, their mother heard a footstep near the house, upon which she remarked to her daughter that if John, her lost son, had been at home, she would have sworn it was his footstep that she heard. Shortly after that day, John returned to the farm and told his family he had been with the fairies. He asked his brothers if they remembered the crack they heard from the thorn bush, and on receiving a reply that yes, they did, he went on to explain that it was one of the fairies he was with. He said the fairy was shooting an arrow at them, and that he, in trying to stop it, lifted a plate to intercept the arrow, and that was the strange cracking sound that they had heard. When questioned about the footstep his mother had heard, he said that it was his, and that he was near them all the time he had been away, but that he could not get to them. In fact, he said, he saw all they were doing, and as an instance of this, he described in detail the day on which they had taken corn to town, and offered much information about their trip. John could give no account of how he had been taken, or how he had been let loose by the fairies, merely remarking that he seemed as if he had been unconscious and then woke up in this world and at once came back to his own people. How do fairies decide who they will abduct? Is it completely random, or is there something specific about a particular person that is of interest to them? It seems they aren't interested in people who want to be taken. I can't recall a single report of anyone who has sought out the fairies in the hope of being taken by them who was successful, that is, was taken and returned. It may have happened, but I'm just not aware of it. It's not unlike those who want to be abducted by aliens. Perhaps there is some common ground there, a hope that there is another race, more advanced, wiser or kinder than us, a hope that we can learn from them, or through them understand the meaning of life. What do you think? Well, let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got some real beauties lined up in the coming weeks too, so if you haven't already, please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Until next time, stay curious and be kind. Cheerio!